Hi, this is Jason Loafing, and many of you probably know me as the winner of the first Landon Castle Qualifying Challenge, or the writer of the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship articles that appear on InRacingNews.com and NASCAR.com. Together with my friend Brian Blackford, it is my pleasure to introduce a new segment to iRacing TV called Garage Talk. These segments will allow me to share some of my garage and setup knowledge with you, including how I go about building my setups and the basics of creating a setup of your own. Since this is the first episode of Garage Talk, I'm going to go over some basic fundamentals on building a setup that can be applied to any car in the service, both oval and road courses. Further episodes will get into more detail about specific things in the setup or the theory behind making a setup work in a particular way. If this is your first time building a setup, get into a car that has fewer setup options such as the Legend car for ovals or the Skip Barber car for road courses. Building a setup in these cars is more about driver feel and preference instead of just finding a combination of settings that will get you around the track the fastest. And if possible, start at a track that you already know so you're not trying to learn the line and make a setup at the same time. Once you've decided on the car and track you'll be driving, get comfortable with a baseline setup, even if it's just the iRacing setup that comes default with the car. This is important because it'll allow you to become consistent even if it's a second or so off the pace, and it'll allow you to feel what the car is doing, which is important because if you start making changes and you haven't done enough laps, you could be adjusting yourself right out of the box and hurting yourself instead of helping. For example, when I'm building a race setup, I normally try to do 5 or 6 laps with my baseline to really get an idea of what the car is doing. After you've run some consistent laps and have a good handle on what the car needs, then you can dive into the garage area and start making changes. Now the important thing is change only one thing at a time. This goes for both road and oval. If you change more than one thing, you don't know which thing you changed made the car better. For example, if you changed air pressure and springs and all of a sudden the car's better or worse, you don't know if the air pressure, the springs, or both made the car behave differently, and it can lead you running around in circles and not really getting much accomplished. Now I know I said earlier that the basic cars with fewer setup options are more about driver preference than all-out speed. There still are some settings that need to be within a window to have the best setup, things like tire pressure or camber. For example, if you set your tire pressure too low, the car is going to feel really squirmy under any sort of load, whether it be acceleration, braking, or cornering. If you set the tire pressure too high, the car might feel great for a lap or two, but you'll notice the tires will lose grip once the temperature and pressure builds in them. So aim for a tire pressure that's not too squirmy, but isn't outrageously high to where the car is not going to be very good after a lap or two. Camber, just like tire pressure, also needs to be set within an optimal range for the best results. Now this range can vary widely depending on the car you're driving and the track you're driving it at. But in any case, to find the most optimal camber for your car and track combination, you need to go out there and do a run, probably 10 or 12 laps, come into the pits, go into the garage, and look at the tire wear percentages. Now, a lot of people like to use the tire temperatures to find out what camber is best, but I think the tire wear is much better in iRacing to do this with. Now, on a road course car, you want the inside and the middle of the tires to be about the same after, say, half a fuel run. This will give you a good balance throughout the whole run. On an oval, the only one I really look at is the right front tire, and again, you'll want the inside and the middle wear to be about the same after half a fuel run. A percent or two difference is fine. When looking at your tire wear readings, if you notice that the inside of the tire is wearing a lot more than the middle, you're going to want to take some negative camber out of the car. This might hurt turn in a little bit, but it will help the car last better throughout a run. And the opposite is also true. If the middle is wearing a lot more than the inside edge, you're going to be able to put more negative camber into the car, which will help it turn better, and it'll still last over the long run because the wear percentages will now be more or less equal. Now be careful with making too big of a camber adjustment. A lot of the cars on iRacing are very sensitive to camber adjustments, and even a half a degree of camber in or out is going to make a huge difference in the wear percentages. Many of the other settings in the garage, such as springs, shocks, or anti-roll bars, can be adjusted to fit your driving style. Many combinations of these settings will work. They'll all run the same speed. They'll just feel a little different. So play with these until you find something that fits your driving style. If you are having difficulty feeling what a change is doing to your car, don't be afraid to take a big swing at that adjustment. This might sound a little crazy, but thankfully in iRacing you don't have to pay a repair bill if you fly off the track or crash into a wall. Sometimes going to the extreme of an adjustment can really make you feel what that adjustment does to the car, even if it doesn't drive very good. Then you can back it down a little bit, or maybe the extreme does work and you find some more speed. In any case, only do this in test sessions and practice sessions, as you don't want to go into a race or a qualifying session and ruin somebody else's run with a setup that hasn't been tested thoroughly. When building your own setups, it's important to come up with some sort of formula that can cut down time on changing things around, and it'll make you have more time on the track instead of in the garage. For me, I always try to focus on the end of the car that's giving me trouble. For example, if I have an understeer or tight condition, I want to work on the front of the car instead of messing with the rear end. Yeah, you might be able to fix it with the rear end, but that might be taking away grip from the rear instead of adding it to the front, which will result in a slower lap time overall, and you don't want that. So make your first change on the end of the car that's giving you trouble, and if that doesn't work, undo it and try a change on the other end and see if that works any better.